Blessings and greetings to those who may come across this video in the name of Ahaya Bashim Yeshaya Wabrawak. Some may be asking exactly what is it that I have on my head. And according to scripture, this is called a mitre. Okay? And through the spirit of the Heavenly Father, Ahaya Bashim Yeshaya, with this brief video, we're going to be showing you how to wrap a mitre. Okay? So for the brothers who are coming up in the spirit, who are becoming priests, through the spirit of the Heavenly Father, we thought that it would be good to put together a brief video to show you all how to wrap mitres. Okay? And before we do that, we're going to go into the Bible to first show you exactly what a mitre is. Because there's a lot of questions when a lot of people who are new to the truth, or people may see us out on the street, or they may come across this during our online teaching, and they may be wondering exactly what is it that they may say they may sometimes see on our head. Some people make different gestures. Some people try to make mockery of it. But we all know the purpose as to why we wear this particular headdress or headgear, whatever you like to call it. Okay? So we're going to go into the Bible first and show you exactly the purpose of a mitre, who wore the mitre, and what the mitre was for. What did it denote? Okay? And we're going to start off in the book of Exodus, the 28th chapter. Okay? We're going to start off in the King James Version Bible, Exodus, the 28th chapter. We're going to jump around to a few scriptures. Once again, this video is going to be pretty brief. Even though there's plenty of scriptures throughout the Bible which give understanding to what a mitre is, we're only going to cover a few. Okay? Starting off in Exodus 28. Okay? We're in the book of Exodus chapter 28, verse 1. It says, "And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons." So now the Heavenly Father is now revealing unto Moses the duty that will be laid aside for Aaron and his sons. For those who don't know, Aaron and his sons were separated by the Most High for the purpose of performing the high priesthood. Okay? Even though Levi had many different sons, the sons that came out of Kohath, which eventually would come down to Aaron's lineage, would be separated for the duty of high priesthood. Then you had the other sons of Levi who did other duties within the temple. Okay? But in order to be a high priest, you had to be a son of Aaron. Okay? So now the Most High is giving the duties of the sons of Aaron. Okay? Reading on to verse 2. It says, "And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty." So part of the duties that were laid aside for Aaron and his sons was the duty of wearing these beautiful garments, which the Most High had set aside only for Aaron and his sons for the high priesthood. Okay? And he said these garments would be for glory and for beauty. Okay? Verse 3, "And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office." So notice that the Most High stated that they that were filled with the spirit of wisdom would be used in order to put together these garments, to show you that these garments were put together through the divine Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Okay? Verse 4, "And these are the garments which they shall make." So now it's going to give you a list of all the garments that Aaron and his sons were responsible for wearing in order to perform the duty of the high priesthood. Okay? It says, it says a breastplate and an ephod and a robe and a broidered coat, a mitre. Okay? So what you see on my head is actually one of the holy garments that was set aside for Aaron and his sons to perform the duty of the high priesthood. Okay? So this is not just a cloth, it's not a rag. Some people may make certain jokes and gestures in mockery saying that it's a sock or different things of that nature. Okay? As we just read in the Bible, the mitre is one of the holy garments that was once again laid aside for Aaron and his sons who dealt with the high priesthood. Okay? I'll read on real quick. It says, and a girdle, and they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. So in order to be able to perform the priest's office, Aaron and his sons had to wear these particular garments that we just read. Now some people may be asking, if this ordinance was given to Moses, if it was handed down to Moses from the Most High for Aaron and his sons, who we know were of the tribe of Levi, why is it today that Israelites, no matter what tribe they come from, may wear this particular headdress or this particular garment? Okay? And we're going to show you exactly why. Going to the book of 2 Peter. Okay? The book of 2 Peter, the first chapter. Okay? And as a matter of fact, before we go there, we're going to go to the book of Zechariah, the third chapter. Another scripture citing what we call the mitre. Okay? We're going to go to Zechariah, the third chapter, and after that, we're going to go to 2 Peter, the first chapter, to show you why Israelites of all tribes, whether they be Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, so on and so forth, you may see them wearing the mitres. We're going to show you why. Okay? But we're going to go back to the Old Testament in the book of Zechariah, okay, concerning Joshua or Jeshua, the high priest. Okay? And for anyone who has read the history of the Israelites who returned from Babylon, Joshua was one of the high priests during the time that the Israelites returned to the land of Israel after the Babylonian captivity. Okay? And this is who we're about to read about. Okay? Joshua the high priest. In the book of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 1. It states, and he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Most High Ahiah, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. And the Most High Ahiah said unto Satan, the Most High Ahiah rebuke thee, O Satan, even the Most High Ahiah that have chosen Jerusalem rebuke thee. Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire? Verse 3. Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. Okay? Now, not to go too far off the beaten path, but what we're reading here in this particular scripture is a parallel. Okay? Though Joshua the high priest is being used, he's being used in this particular symbolic prophecy as an example of what happens to us when it's time for us to go before the Most High, okay, or when we're presented before the Most High, okay. So initially, we have filthy garments, okay, whether it be through sin, transgression, or whatever the case may be, we have filthy garments, okay. And due to the fact that we have filthy garments, you have Satan who goes before the Father and tries to accuse us. Okay? And we can read about that in the book of Job, how he tried to accuse Job. This same thing happens to us. It used to happen to the brethren in the Old Testament before Christ was crucified. Satan would go before the Heavenly Father, and he would try to accuse the brethren, and he would try to cause the Most High to focus on the transgressions and the mistakes that the brothers and sisters had made under the Old Covenant before Christ was crucified, instead of having the Most High focus on the good acts that the brothers and sisters, or the good effort that the brothers and sisters tried to make in order to get themselves right with the Heavenly Father. Okay? So now it says, verse 4, "And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, Take away the filthy garments from him." So this happens when we decide to lay down our sins and get baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay? It says to take away his filthy garments. So the filthy garments of Joshua the high priest were taken away. It says, "And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with change of raiment." So the same way Joshua the high priest was clothed with the change of raiment, the same thing happens with us, believe it or not, when we go before the Father to present ourselves in order to confess our sins and be baptized for the remission of our sins. Okay? Our old man is taken away, the old garments are taken away, and we're handed a clean slate or a clean garment. Okay? Reading on in the 5th verse, it says, "And I said, Let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head, and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Most High Ahiah stood by." So after he was cleansed, he was handed a fair mitre by the angel of the Most High. Okay? And it's the same process we go through after being baptized. We wash ourselves away of that filthy garment, we get ourselves a new garment, and we set upon ourselves a fair mitre, which means a clean mitre. Okay? Now, once again, earlier I made a statement that even though in the Old Covenant only the high priest were responsible for wearing the mitre, now under Christ, you may see other Israelites who may wear this particular head garment. And we're going to give you the reason why. Going to the book of 2 Peter, okay? Going to the book of 2 Peter, the 1st chapter, okay? Second Peter, the 1st chapter. Okay, let me make sure this is the correct one. Let me correct that. Let's make that 1 Peter the 2nd chapter. Okay, Salakia, let me correct that. 1 Peter is the 2nd chapter in the 9th verse. Okay. And this particular scripture states the following: "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation." So this scripture is being addressed to the nation of Israel as a whole. Okay, I'll read it again. And this is actually a citation or quote from the Old Testament, which also made mention of the nation of Israel being a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and an holy nation. This is from the book of Exodus, okay? It says, "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." Okay? So, whereas before in the Old Testament, you had the sons of Levi who were separated for the duty of high priesthood to the nation of Israel. After Christ was crucified, that particular position was handed over to Christ. Now Christ is the high priest of the nation of Israel. And all those who follow under Christ, or those who fall under Christ, okay, also fall under that particular order of the priesthood, okay? And believe it or not, like in the Old Testament, you had Levi who was separated unto the Most High. That's what Levi or lawyer means. That's the Hebrew pronunciation of Levi. It means joined unto me. Why? Because Levi was separated unto the Most High, or joined unto the Most High, for the particular purpose of serving the priesthood for the nation of Israel. Okay? So the same way Levi was separated under the old covenant to perform the duty of priesthood for the nation of Israel, now we are separated as a nation in order to perform the priesthood unto the earth, the whole world, believe it or not. Okay? In the Old Testament, the Most High stated that we would become a light unto the Gentiles. And now under Christ, we are performing that particular duty of being a light unto the Gentiles. Now we're separated as a nation in order to be a light and a priesthood to all the other nations in the earth who decide to accept Christ as their Lord and Savior. Okay? So without further ado, we're going to show you how to wrap a mitre. Okay? And as you can see, it may look a bit difficult at first, the process of wrapping a mitre, and it actually is. Okay? For me, myself, it took me a few years to actually get the process to perfection, down to perfection. Okay? And I can remember like it was yesterday, my first time actually receiving a mitre, which was back in Philadelphia. Okay? This was my first and last Passover celebration back in the States. During that particular time period, on that Passover night, this was the first time I received a mitre. Okay? I was very excited, not only about the mitre, but also the Passover itself, being a young man and being able to celebrate a holy day that our forefathers actually celebrated, instead of continuing the process of following the holidays that the pagans, the Romans, and all the other Gentiles may have followed in ancient times and still follow up until this day. Okay? So that same joy I once had for Christmas, I now had that joy for the Passover. Okay? And it was that night that I received my first mitre, and when it was wrapped for me, I liked how it looked so much that I didn't want to take it off. Even when I went home to lay down and go to sleep, I didn't want to take it off because I knew at that point in time that I was not going to be able to wrap it back the way it was. Okay? And I know a lot of brothers may go through that same process when they first get their mitre. You don't want to take it off because you know that you're not going to be able to wrap it the same way it was wrapped when it was initially put on your head. Okay? But through the Spirit of the Most High, thankfully through this video, you no longer have to worry about that process. You can take it off and put it back on at your own will. Okay? So now, first I'm going to take the mitre off. And the reason I wanted to do it like this is because I want to show you the whole process of wrapping the mitre. Now, believe it or not, the process does not start with you actually wrapping the mitre around your head. Okay? The process first starts when you're actually rolling the mitre up, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay? That's when the process starts. Okay? Real quick, let me take the mitre off and I'll begin this tutorial. Okay? As you can see at this point, the mitre is pretty much disheveled. It looks nothing like it did when it was wrapped on my head. So the question is, how do I take this piece of cloth and turn it back, or make it look exactly how it was when it was wrapped on my head? How do I begin that process? Okay. Now, the first thing you have to do, number one, when you take it off, one of the best things to do in order to keep your mitre nice and clean is to wrap it up and put it in a plastic wrap. Okay, something like a Ziploc bag or anything close to that would be the best way to keep your mitre fresh and clean. But let me show you what I mean when I said you must first, the process begins with you rolling up or wrapping up the mitre, okay? Now, I'm not going to unfold this the whole way, but just to show you, as you can see, this mitre, the diameters of this particular mitre is about 13 feet by 8 inches. About 13 feet long, and across you got about 8 inches, okay? And what we do is we take this and we fold it in half, okay? And about the time you get done folding it, okay, because it's folded quite a few times. As a matter of fact, this right here is about 4 inches, okay? And before you actually sew it together, when you open it up, before you sew it together, it's about 8 inches wide, okay? But you take it, when it's time to sew it, you take it, you fold it, you got about 4 inches, and then you fold it again, you got about 2 inches, okay? So now, this is the first step to being able to wrap a mitre. You must first roll up the mitre, okay, as you'll see. And as you can see, as I roll it up, I'm rolling it up in a nice clean fashion, okay? And believe it or not, this has a this plays a very key part in how your mitre comes out as you wrap it, okay? If you wrap it sloppily, then you're gonna, when it's time for you to wrap the mitre, you're gonna wrap it around your head sloppily, okay, in a sloppy manner, okay? As you go along, make sure this is all straightened out, okay? Okay, so now you can see I have completed the first step to applying a mitre upon the head or upon my head. Okay, this is the first step and probably one of the most important steps, because once again, if it's rolled up sloppy, then you're not going to be able to correctly wrap it around your head. Okay, now the second step, okay, the second step is actually being able to apply it to your head. Okay, and I'll try to make this process as slow as possible so that you can see every single step. Okay, and if it seems like it's a bit fast at the beginning, you can always rewind it. Okay, and watch this over so that you can, keep on watching until you actually get it. Okay. So now, usually, what you would have is when you first get a mitre, you'll probably have someone else wrap it, okay? So when you have someone else wrap it, the process is a bit different. It's a bit easier because you have help, okay? Okay. Now, if you have someone else wrapping it, what they'll tell you to do is, number one, as you can see first, the first wrap goes behind the head, okay? You start from behind the head like this. Okay? You start from behind the head. And usually if you have someone wrapping it for you, they would tell you to press your fingers on the back side, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Someone else is wrapping it for you, they'll tell you to press the back side or hold the back side, okay, until they start wrapping it a few times, then you can start to let it go, okay? But if you wrapping it by yourself, then it's a different story, okay? If you are wrapping it by yourself, then you would use your teeth or your mouth to hold the mitre in place as you begin to wrap around. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, okay? As you can see, I'm using my mouth to hold the mitre in place, okay? Now, the process of wrapping the mitre and getting it perfect is very simple, okay? It may not seem so at first, but it's very simple. All you're doing is following a pattern, okay? You're following a pattern of up, down, okay? Or down, up, depending on which way you're wrapping it. It's a simple pattern. And every time you get to the middle is always going to be on point, or the middle is always going to meet, okay, at the same point on each wrap, okay? And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. After a while, you can let the mitre grow from your mouth after a while, because then it holds itself, begins to hold itself. Okay. The last step is simply taking that last strap and tucking it all the way through. Okay. What you do is you tuck it all the way through. Now tuck it first, and I'll show you how it's supposed to look. As you can see, I tucked it all the way to the very bottom. As you can see, you have like a band in the back. And what you do is you tuck that last strap, that loose strap, all the way to the bottom. You pull it through, like so. Okay? And as you can see, initially, my mitre is a bit crooked. So in this case, what you would do is you would just simply just move it to the side. And me personally, I don't like to wrap my mitre too tight, because number one, it'll give you a headache, number one. Number two is because if you have this situation in which it's a bit crooked, if you tie it too tight, you're not going to be able to move it over, okay? So when you tie your mitre, for the best result, you want to tie it just enough, just tight enough to where it sits on your, where it stays on your head, but not too tight, and at the same time not too loose, okay? And it really depends on the individual, how it feels or how comfortable it feels on the individual's head, okay? So what you simply do in this case, if it's a bit to the side, is you just move it over, okay? You simply move it over. And as you can see, once again, you have a wrapped mitre, okay? So it's back to how it was in the beginning, all right? And once again, as you can see, all the points meet in the middle. When you get to the middle, you're basically overlapping each point, okay? So when you make your first wrap, that first wrap is coming down, and as it comes around, it comes back up, okay? And as a matter of fact, I'll do it one more time quickly, just to show you one more time, and this will be real quick. First time I did it slow just for tutorial purposes, but this time I'll do it real quick, okay? Just so you can see exactly how the pattern goes again, all right? So just 1 second. Once again, the first process is wrapping up or rolling up the mitre. So once again, you can see the process. After much practice, the process is only about 30 seconds, less than a minute, okay? And once again, when you get to the last strap, you're basically taking the loose end, okay? This is the loose end. You're taking this loose, okay? This is the loose end. You're taking this loose end and tucking it all the way in the back, okay? Through the rest, through that band in the back. Okay, if you can see it. Okay, and after this process is done, okay, as you can see, you're just pulling it through. Okay. Once again, if it's a bit to the side, all you do is just simply move it over, okay, to the middle. Okay. All right. So there you have it. Okay. That's the brief tutorial on how to wrap a mitre. Now, once again, it may take quite some time to actually get it. Myself, it took about a year and a half for me to actually get it to perfection. Okay, so with some of you, it may take less time than that since you have a video to go by. Okay, when I learned, I didn't have a video to actually go by to show me how to wrap a mitre. So you all may be in better shape than I was in learning how to wrap a mitre. Okay? So with that, I want to say bless you all and shalom. And hopefully you all will be able to follow along nice and clearly through the spirit of the Most High, Ahaya, Ba'ashem Yeshaya. Okay? Bless you all and shalom.